Welcome back to Modern Psychology Hacks. This is episode 4. We are talking about mental efficiency. Our quote today is going to come from Carl Jung, and he says that change happens when the pain of change is greater than the pain of staying the same. Nowadays, everyone says they're busy, but what does that really mean to be too busy? For me, I feel like it's whenever I have a lot of things that I want to do, but not enough time to get to all of them. So nowadays, it feels like everyone is too busy to get to the things that they say are actually important. Many people have this idea that the time that exists right now somehow isn't it yet. It's as if we are working towards a future time when we will finally have everything that we want, and we will have enough time to do the things we say that we want to do, and we will be content, and we will allow ourselves to rest. But it hasn't really happened right yet. We're still kind of working towards it, right? So many people want to use their time to improve themselves and to do the things that are important, but they push that to the bottom of their to-do list because their day-to-day tasks keep getting in the way. So what I'm getting at is that you have to do your to-do list tasks, but since they're always at the beginning of our list, it feels like we're never going to have enough time to do the things that are actually important. So what happens, unfortunately, is we keep putting off the important things. So many people will say, I will do that. I will do those things when I have enough time. I will do those things next month. I will do that at the end of this semester. Once I get out of college, once I get a stable job, once I get a promotion, after I finally move, after I get married, after I have kids, after the kids move out, after we get the kids through college, after I retire, then what? So the problem is we feel like we don't have enough time. So we're going to try to increase our mental efficiency to have more time in the day-to-day and be able to prioritize the things that we say actually matter. So this doesn't mean we should give up our to-do lists and just go all out on our favorite hobbies, even though that would be dope and it would probably be fine if you did do that. I'm just saying, you'd be okay. But we're going to increase our mental efficiency. So there's many reasons why someone might say that they're busy, and all of those would be legitimate. People are busy for a lot of real reasons, but there's one reason that's not legit and that I and you should not accept, and that is lying around on your phone. That is brain rotting, that is bed rotting, that is scrolling, it's whatever you want to call it, and you shouldn't be doing it. I did it all the time, about 10 to 12 hours a day. I would do it. I would play Minecraft. It was great. I had a great time. And there was nothing wrong with that at all, except for the tiny little voice in the back of my head that was ashamed of me. It knew that I could be doing better. It knew that I shouldn't be lying around in bed. And it just kept telling me, like, you should be doing this. Or then I would see someone online that was doing better, and I would have a thought, yeah, I'm gonna change. But I wouldn't, because I was lying in bed on my phone. And doing anything else seems so hard when you're doing that. So just remember though, our grandparents, people 50 years ago, didn't do that. They didn't spend daytime lying in bed unless they were taking a nap or like sick. It's actually a new thing that we all do that. And it's no wonder why we're all depressed. But what they did, that they used their free time for, was things like spending time with other people, having social interaction with the people that they loved. It was doing hobbies. It was learning new skills and doing things that actually mattered and were important. It was all physical stuff. So we can take a bit of advice from the past and apply that to ourselves. I would challenge you to do something physical that you like doing. It has to be something you like doing because it has to be a viable option for something else that you could do instead of spending time on your phone. We spend too much time on our phone. It slips between the cracks of our life. It's when you're standing in line. It's when you're at a red light. It's any time. And this is a side tangent, but I was having lunch with someone that I hadn't met before, someone from a friend from work, and he said that he was trying to put his phone down, and he actually had an iPod, and it just had music on it. And, he told us he'd meet us for lunch, and luckily the plans worked. But if they didn't, he wouldn't have met up with us. I mean, but that's how they did it. That's how they did it back in the day. So I was really proud of him for that. That was awesome, you know, and I was like, good job, dude. You have an iPod instead of a phone. That's really cool. And he said that the other day he was sitting at lunch and he was sitting at a table with no phone and he was just looking around and he was at a 6-person table and it was just him and there was 2 people that were looking for a table and he waved them over to sit at the 6th person and you know because there were more than enough chairs and he said that he had a wonderful conversation with them. He learned where they were from and he met 2 new people and made 2 friends that day. That would not have happened if he had stayed there looking down, head down, neck craned, looking at his phone. End of tangent. I just thought that was yesterday. I just thought that was really cool. So do that. Find something that you can replace. It's because we're overstimulating our brain once every 5 to 10 minutes and training ourselves to not be okay with just being. We're trying to just be, okay? And be warned, starting anything like this is going to be hard. Starting anything new is going to be difficult because it's like your brain is a jungle and you're cutting a new mental pathway through this jungle. And every time you take this pathway, it becomes more and more like a path and more like a road and then a highway if you do it over and over again. But the first few times are going to be difficult. So just anticipate that and have options. So you're going to be more conditioned to doing your old habits and even extreme willpower is going to fail. But for now, just start with the motivation that you have and we'll cover how to do it specifically in the next video. We're going to go over exactly how the brain works and we're going to go into the ways that we can apply this. But I wanted to do this video separately, almost as an intro to the next video, because there's a lot of general advice and things that we can apply in this video. But the next one is going to be a banger. I'm not going to give you any application step for this video, but just know that I'm going to hit you with some ways that you could do some things that would really help. This is, I guess, general advice, but it's more like mental health advice. When we train our minds to be better, we train our productivity. The better your mental health is, the better your efficiency and productivity will be. So the way to fix your mental health is by fixing your health. That will feed your brain with the nutrients that it needs. And I'm not very good at talking about mental health, so we're going to just go over the basics. So this is something that's really not taught in school, but it should be. And this is a quote that I found from the book Circadian Code, written by Stachin Panda, and he's a PhD. He says, your performance at any moment during the day is primarily determined by what you did the night before, when you ate, and how much you slept, because that is what sets your clock. Just set an eating routine and stick to it. Very interesting. I'm pretty bad at that, but he inspired me to try. So number one thing that I learned that will boost your energy throughout the whole day is research in general has been led by Andrew Huberman, who is the head of the Huberman Lab podcast, and he also did the Science of Wellbeing course, and I think he's a professor at Harvard, I'm not sure. But he said that the number one way to boost your energy is to get sunlight on your eyeballs in the morning within 5 to 10, maybe 30 minutes of waking up. When you wake up and get sunlight on your eyeballs, it spikes your cortisol level, and this will boost your energy in the morning and make you feel more awake throughout the day. This cannot be through a windshield, and it cannot be through a window, and it cannot be artificial light. It has to be actual natural sunlight, and he recommends looking in the direction of the sun. If it's too late in the day and the sun has already risen, you can't look directly at the sun, but as much as you can do without sunglasses, regular glasses he says is okay, but without sunglasses will make you feel amazing. I also need to start doing this better, but number one piece of advice right there, if it's a bright day, you can do 5 minutes in the morning. If it's a cloudy day, 10 minutes. If it's rainy, 15 minutes. I'm checking to make sure my storage is still not acting up. Number 2, chug a glass of water in the morning. This will set your body's circulation and wake you up. 3 more things that he says are the best things. Number 1 was sunlight, but the other 3 things are also very important. We have social interaction, eating, and exercise. So if you get sunlight, social interaction, eating, and exercise taken care of in the morning, you are probably going to have a better day than you had this whole month. So, which I would agree. I would say that the cases when I do that, I feel better. Matthew Smith is a YouTuber and he talks about the dopamine detox rule, which we're going to go into the next video. But he says that one way that effectively reduces afternoon brain fog is eating protein high meals at lunch and eating carb higher meals at dinner time. This doesn't mean you have to, but generally when you eat a lot of carbs, you feel sleepier. Also, if you want to sleep better, make your bedroom pitch black and cover up any technology lights like on your monitor or computer that might be like on lights. Cover those up so that there's no lights in your bedroom, make it pitch black, and don't sleep too much or you'll feel groggy. 7 to 9 hours is generally what is acceptable. And if you want to start doing any of these good health practices, do them at the same time every day, and before long, your body will start to learn and do it for you. The next video is the one thing I learned that made everything click, and it's talking about attention span and dopamine. I hope to see you there.